A dark cloud from the south loomed over our first North American semifinalist here this morning, but they seem to have found the silver lining in it in the first map. Cloud9 take control of map number 1 in their semifinal against Tempo Storm. Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the DreamHack Zowie Open, live from Austin here. Still in the wire, but we've got a big crowd here cheering for Cloud9, wanting to see a North American team in the grand final. Moses is here with me, but now we go onto what, for the longest time, ever since we can remember in Cloud9's history, what has been their kryptonite. It's going to be on Inferno.
Yeah, and it might be the last time that we see Inferno be a nightmare for these guys for some time. It's going to be out of the pool. This might be the last time they have to deal with it in a tournament format, and what a time to do it in the semifinals to make grand finals. Just one map away, obviously, for Cloud9. But this is going to be, it's really interesting because you actually saw, normally some of the strengths of Tempo Storm, they're so good in post plants, and with the match being that close, 13-16 in the loss, you look towards the pistol round in the first half where they lose a 4-on-2. You look towards the first gun round where they lost a 5-on-3. Post-plant situations in both of them. So a little bit unfortunate for Tempo Storm. But those are mistakes you normally don't see them make. And maybe a little bit of overconfidence, maybe a little bit too much taking fights in those situations, because we saw them kind of button it down a little bit later in the match. It just happened too late. Now, going on to Inferno, this is a thing, like when Peacemaker, when Tempo Storm says that they're prepared, this is a map that's so difficult to prepare for Cloud9 for because they haven't played it in so long. So, I mean, what can you realistically expect to come out of Cloud9? They probably haven't, been practicing it too much. So this is going to be there's going to be a lot of random things happening on this map. Cloud9 are going to have to rely on individuals, and that's something that Tempo Storm, you can't really read that. You can't really anticipate it. They're going to have to be prepared for anything.
And you brought it up, of course, on the desk, essentially just expecting a very loose style of play from these guys, specifically when it comes to the T side now, because of just how simple it seems to have been on many of their maps before, and we can expect it to be even more basic here now because of this is a map that they specifically have avoided in almost every single event leading up until now. They wanted to try and risk it against Tempo Storm, and they're going to see how it fares in the semifinal.
And actually, I mean, it's even in a way, there's some hope for Cloud9 on this map. I know it sounds dire when we talk about them on Inferno, just not playing it ever. But it is a map that lends itself to strong CT sides, which they've been very, very good on, even despite having rough offenses. But the thing too is that Cloud9 doesn't actually have to have that great of a T side. They can just get one fortunate win at a weird moment in the economy of Tempo Storm as terrorists, and that can break the economy for so long and give them such an advantage if they're going against a Tempo Storm that has small number of nades, not enough smokes, not enough Molotovs. If they can just break that economy just once, it can give them those 3-4 rounds, and that might be all they need on a map like Inferno.
But talk a little bit about the other half, though. One thing specifically when it comes to Inferno, and we saw this in a couple rounds back on Cabo, but one thing that I think Cloud9 is going to be really careful of is these all-in, very aggressive, very fast takes that we saw from Tempo Storm. On Inferno, these can be a real nightmare. If you execute all in through the choke points, either through the mid choke point on A, or just coming in from Banana over on the B bomb site, these hits can happen so quickly that the players in their bomb site, they're not even going to know that the hit is happening, let alone have enough time to actually rotate over to that site and support it. We see this all the time in other North American matchups where teams are just constantly locked out of the site round after round after round, and they have to stay. They're left with no choice because they just have no time to rotate all the way across the map and go for a retake.
And we'll just have to see what's going to come out from Cloud9, because I believe they are going to start on the terrorist side. We'll see in just a moment. Yep, and they are going to go into the pistol round. So Slemmy has the utility. He's got smoke, 2 flashes. On the other side, it's Henny with smoke, flash, and nade. And then Phelps with a smoke and a kit. And same with Lucas. And look at Phelps here. He's trying to get some information, trying to start this off aggressive, set the tone. He spotted out a number of Cloud9 players. They're very quickly taking control of apartments, and they have it. It's been ceded by Tempo Storm. They don't want to take that fight. Henny over on Rap side having an angle. Cloud9 hasn't really approached anything from there. They just gained control. They forced the defense back, and actually they forced a rotation as well. 4 members of Tempo Storm at this A bomb site.
Posting up outside of it, though, Cloud9 made some progress inside of those apps, but they haven't really been able to get beyond it just as of yet, and they're now starting to investigate a couple of their options back over towards the B bomb site there, too. Just making some noise for the time being, not really committing to anything, but still taking it very slowly as they wind down the time a little bit more and just try to draw a couple more rotations closer to that B bomb site instead of only giving away the A hit. But we can see there now, Bolts sitting just inside of the graveyard. He's waiting for this push to come. Peeks out just a little bit too early, actually, so he's going to take some damage, but he spotted the play. He can now call for the assistance to come back over. Nice shots from Bolts. Finds one, almost takes down a second one, and even more damage coming in, but Phelps needed to find that kill. Nothing, and Shroud picking up 3 kills back to back to back. And now it falls to Lucas and Showtime to hold this back up. Stewie in the corner, finds another one, tries to grab the final one with the triple shot, but it's not going to happen. Lucas left alive. He's got some players down very low. Slemmy's only at 2 HP, Nothing at 28, and Shroud down at 56. The bomb's gone down, however, and Lucas just going to take this very slowly, trying to look for the first one, but there's going to be a jumping player back over there behind the pole, looking to finish him off first if he can grab him, but also very slow to make progress. Down at 57 HP now. He's onto the bomb site, but this is going to be such a slow push, and Slemmy is going to grab it while jumping, finishing things off there. Cloud9 take control of yet another pistol round.
Look good for Tempo Storm on that initial hit, but it's when they lose control, and Phelps misses that kill in pit. That's a crucial point to control at that A bomb site, and it doesn't let Tempo Storm have any avenue for the retake. Shroud with a very timely double kill there. So now we see Mac 10 on Stewie, MP7 on Skadoodle, rifles outside of that. It is an investment from Tempo Storm. They do have armor and upgraded pistols on 3 players. Eddie and Lucas going to be a little bit lighter, although Lucas does have that Deagle. But Cloud9, I mean, this is what we talked about, the terrorist side. You know, all you need, you have this pistol round, so if you can win these next 2, if you can get up towards 3, and then maybe win 1 gun round, all of a sudden you've already had a great terrorist half.
And Stewie's going to lead the charge this time, pushing himself around towards the choke point, heading into the B bomb site. Lucas and Showtime will be waiting for him, but hopefully just trying to bait out some shots so we can maybe find some intel first before he actually goes for the push himself. Not moving in on it just as of yet, just playing around, it would seem, with the members of Tempo Storm, but not really catching anything. Now he's going to be smoked out as well with the timer getting a little bit lower here. Phelps, in the meantime, though, has gotten very aggressive. Should be able to line up this kill, but the shots not where they need to be. And while he does get some good damage on a Slemmy, he is also going to lose about half of his health pool.
He's having a tough series so far, considering what we've seen out of him. That's a nice nade. There's Bolts. Good shot from him. Can he get a second one? He can. Holds it off single-handedly. He's even got a teammate there to help him out. Lucas shuts down Stewie, ends him quickly. And again, Cloud9, they win a pistol, and it looks like they're on the verge of dropping another second round. The bomb is down, and Tempo Storm knows it. Phelps is just here waiting.
Nothing did round it back, but they have no clue Phelps is here. Caught him off guard. Finds a free rifle with that kill, and now it's all on nothing in the 1v4. Fixed up the first one, but down to 15 HP. Showtime is going to close it out with a Mac 10, and they responded to immediately tie things up at 1-1.
And that's there goes everything we just theorized about, is Cloud9 having that pistol round, winning the next 2, and then all of a sudden just having all the rounds they need very quickly in this. So Tempo Storm responds and denies that. It's going to have to be another terrorist half, much like Cobble, where Cloud9's able to grind out some of these rounds. And again, they respond in kind. Armor, upgraded pistols, utility as well on Slemmy, and nothing.
So Cloud9 3 for 3 on those pistols, but I think that's 2 out of 3 times now where we have seen the second round immediately get traded out by Tempo Storm there too. So not looking so consistent as of yet. This time as well, we're going to see the force from these guys, but not starting out so well. Showtime has already found the first pickup, taking down Stewie. Shroud looking for one here on top of the smoke. Might be able to skim one of them here in a moment. Finds Lucas, but is off the mark. Not really going to be able to connect anything. So Cloud9 definitely not starting it the way they want to here by going for the force on this round.
Look at this big flank as well. Phelps, he's hunting. He wants to get into this with the Mac 10. That's going to be at least 1 free kill that he spotted. Now he's going to speed things up. Once to bail his teammates out, and he does. That's the bomb down. Flashbang's going to rain in. That's going to blind Skadoodle, but he gets the kill anyways. So Henny now got to be careful. Finds a kill at long range. Switches over to the M4 as well. Prevents anyone from Cloud9 salvaging that. Skadoodle and nothing left at a 2-on-3. They do have nades, 2 smokes. They've got a couple flashbangs as well. They don't really have anywhere to go that you can think would give them an advantage. Stuck in alternate mid at the moment.
And one starting to push his way towards the mid choke point too, just to make sure C9 did not go for a rapid retreat back in that direction to wrap themselves over to the B bomb site. Definitely not the case. Nothing down to 15 HP and Skadoodle at 73. They're just going to try to go directly towards A and see what they can work with here. Not a whole lot, unfortunately, as N1 is just going to swipe away. Finds nothing. Flashbang coming out there for Skadoodle. He does actually blind an opponent, but didn't even realize it there. He brings it down to 8 HP, but is going to lose the battle ultimately. Showtime closes out the final 2 guys, and it's going to be a second round coming up onto the board for the Brazilians.
I think Skadoodle was actually trying to, I mean, knew he was there, but I think he was trying to drop that flash and just get into the bomb site. Maybe catch one defender there off guard and allow himself to get a plant. Hopefully able to ignore a blind opponent shooting at him, but he took too much damage, had to turn and respond to that fight. 2-1 for Tempo Storm. Now they have a much stronger buy and a much weaker purchase from Cloud9 to go against. So an opportunity here for them to build up some of that money that they need to keep intact into the gun rounds.
Showtime now getting aggressive here too, pushing himself down banana. Not going to find anything initially. Nobody from C9 got that aggressive after it was smoked out very early on here by the CTs. But Phelps actually going to spot something on the bridge, further back down alt middle, tapping away. Nicely done with the long range kill, takes down Shroud. And immediately that's going to scatter everybody from the side of C9. Nothing, maybe able to sneak in a little bit here. Might catch Phelps in a reload, but no, does not decide to proceed through that smoke. Instead is going to try to move into the site and see if he can try to surprise anybody here. And he does, nicely done. Even in a direct duel, still manages to take down Bolts. Showtime elsewhere though, back over outside of banana, does respond with taking down Stewie, but nothing, picking up a rifle. There is the flank from Phelps. It shuts him down. He's back into the control of the CTs here, and he's moving out for more kills too. Taking down Slemmy. Skadoodle's gonna be the last one alive, and he gets decked by Henny.
I like this play from Phelps to start this map off. Had a quiet first map on Cobble, but you can see here, getting aggressive, especially on an anti-eco like that, where he knows he's gonna be going up against no armor. Just get some kills, get him under your belt, get a little bit more confidence going, and you can see he's highly aggressive in how he's moving across the map there, you know, when nothing's making that play out halls. So trying to get himself back into the game. Lucas is going to be on the shotgun. Henny has the AWP though. Nothing to respond with on the T side in terms of the sniper rifle. Skadoodle's going to be on an AK-47. Slemmy as well, back on a Tech 9.
Phelps now pushing himself forward over through those halls with some more support coming in as well. Bolts sitting directly behind him here. Cloud9 going to try to take control early on of the apartments. We saw this back in the pistol round too, and they were able to use this to eventually push on and win the round, but nothing. Not going to have a whole lot of luck here early on. Mollied out completely by the members of Tempo Storm there. Has to hold back, which leaves Slemmy alone inside. If they got a little bit more aggressive inside of Boiler, they might have been able to take him down, but for the time being, they're going to respect the wishes of C9 and allow them to hold that initial hallway at the very least.
Tempo Storm leaving Lucas with the shotgun as the sole defender over towards the B site. I mean, this is very common to see, you know, deep smokes over towards Banana. It allows you to rotate a defender back towards that A bomb site at 4 here. Normally you don't see it with a shotgun though. And that might actually force Tempo Storm to go away from this 4A setup just because of the inferior weaponry that's over there. They might have to break that stack up just naturally.
And indeed, they're already going to cause a rotation over there, moving through the highway now. Showtime is coming in to assist, as they haven't really seen anything from C9 in quite a few moments here. They've been fairly quiet inside of those apartments. And also with a lot more of the players fading away from their aggressive positioning on Rap side along with the porch. They're not really going to be able to hear anything back over in that direction either. N1 trying to bait out the shot, but that does not work. A little bit too far, Stewie. And N1 is going to find that kill. Now, the members of C9, though, they will go for the execute back over here into the B bomb site. Smoke on the cross, back by CT. Skadoodle's looking for the first kill. Phelps, in the meantime, does kill the last player back over towards the A bomb site, but Shroud and Skadoodle find their entries on this B bomb site. And they're going to be able to get secure planning and probably have plenty of time to get in post plants, too.
Yeah, and the issue now for Tempo Storm, no nades for this retake to happen. They do have Shroud and Skadoodle pretty low. And there's Skadoodle trying to make something happen. Over towards construction, not going to get that first kill. He did have one very small opportunity, but the stack here, this crossfire between him and Slemmy, this can be so damaging for Tempo Storm if they try and retake this. Henny at the moment with the op is just holding it. That's a nice shot. Skadoodle falls. Slemmy is still here though. Shroud, what can he do? Gets a nice headshot onto Henny. Got one more flanking in from B. He's got to hide, but there's Slemmy for the support, and Cloud9 has taken this round. Phelps is forced away. Second round on the board for Cloud9.
Good reliance on the teammates there too. Shroud could have peeked out, would have been a big mistake because they only initially tapped that bomb. If he had gone down, could have ended a completely different way. But he relies on Slemmy there, lets him roll back in and pull off his own roll, and he shuts it down completely, allowing Shroud to peek out and shut down that final player. Well, that guy was distracted there. So there is going to be a pickup from C9 on the gun round. And they immediately bring themselves just within one more round of tying it up against Tempo, and this is exactly what they need to do on this T side too. Try to keep it as close as possible. As when they get on this TT side, that's where we're going to see a lot more of the strengths come in for the American team.
Phelps now going to get aggressive as well, still in halls. Not peeking all the way out balcony as we saw previously. He knows he's going against rifles. It's a little bit more difficult. Skadoodle as well with the AWP. Maybe some delayed aggression. Here's the footsteps, and now he's going to take this opportunity to sneak in. And this could just be a very damaging play. If he catches Cloud9 off guard, that might end things before they begin. Slemmy's got to be careful when he jumps up. When he throws this Molotov, it might just entice Phelps to peek, knowing his opponent's got his nades out, recovering from throwing one.
Still not seeing anything as of yet. In fact, though, Phelps is going to be the one to strike first, but Fireback's damage reconnecting onto Phelps. little bit cautious, though, of nothing pushing forward to actually take that duel, so he's only going to drop half the HP off of Phelps there when he just pushes forward and destroys Slemmy early on to give Tempo Storm the man advantage.
Yeah, but now with this 1 kill, 5-on-4, smart decision. Phelps just falls back into pit. They essentially have a double pit setup with that player up on the balcony. Very easy to just contain this, so much more passive, forcing Cloud9 into and execute into committing into this bomb site. They really don't have a lot of utility to do anything with. 1 smoke on Stewie, 2 Molotovs, Skidoodle, and nothing. But it's going to be a very, very sketchy execute, and instead they're going to fall back towards this B bomb site. Stewie, distraction over towards A on Rap side, and he's going to fall. Henny gets him. Lucas now with a pop flash lined up, waiting for the indication that Cloud9 is coming, and there it is. Here's the first one. Showtime's going to peek with it. He's got a blind opponent. That's Skidoodle who falls for free. The bomb is down as well. Another pop flash from Lucas, and Showtime's got 2 kills off it. Great assist from Lucas.
And Phelps is going to roll back in from the back to shut it down, prevent the save from coming in. The Brazilians retake control immediately, and that should reset C9 too. Only 1 round being picked up, and that coming on to one of their first real gun rounds, I do believe. Is not going to leave them with a whole lot of excess cash, so there's Showtime again. Already was a big player in our first map, and is showing it once again here with these kinds of performances.
I mean, that's just beautiful teamwork out of Lucas right there, just sitting at oranges and just throwing flashes for his teammate. Not even moving, not even having an idea to peek with it, just letting his teammate do all the work. Phelps, again, going to be a nightmare in this window. They're going to catch on to this eventually, so he's got to be a little bit careful of when he decides to do it. Still aggressive initially in Halls. This timing is not going to work out for him, though. Shroud continues forward, and there it is. Shroud sees the nade. No, he's got the opportunity. Phelps gets caught.
The mollies, though, pile back in through the choke point and outside of Boiler just to prevent anybody from C9 from funneling into the actual bomb site. They're going to give up completely on the A hit because of this. Moving away now. Starting to check out what's going on back towards Banana, but this has been enough aggression to draw the attention of Showtime from that B bomb site, leaving Lucas to defend this just outside of the first orange, just all on his own.
This is a situation now where, I mean, Cloud9 could, if they're able to pressure, they don't have any presence over towards Banana, but Lucas being here all alone, he's got to really time when he wants to use that smoke. So he uses it now. It's going to disappear at around 40 seconds left in the round, so it's going to be a long time for him to be alone with no utility. You might see someone from Tempo Storm cheat back over towards B when that happens. All depending on how much pressure Cloud9 is going to put here on the A site.
And Showtime back outside, moving in to pick up some kills, but he only finds 1. Skidoodle trades it out. N1 also finding 1 on the cross, but he misses the shot. Now under pressure, Skidoodle's going to be able to cut him off. Bolt's still alive in the pit, though, but he can't find any frags. There's 1, shuts down nothing, looking for some more, but they get themselves onto the bomb site. They're going to leave him alive, though, which is extremely dangerous, still having that presence very, very close to them. And the retake is very much a possibility now with Lucas rotating in from the B-bomb site. He's going to start to wrap back in. Bolts just jumps up behind the truck there, takes down Shroud, and as well the flank coming in from Lucas will allow Tempo Storm to rack up yet another round.
Yeah, really good play from Bolts, staying alive in pit. You can see what it does. It confines Cloud9 into the bomb site when they eventually do get it planted. There's nowhere for them to go afterwards that's safe. They couldn't clear him out of that spot. But either way, I mean, that's a very small investment for Cloud9 for the amount of damage that's done. The plant for the bonus money, also 3 kills. That can be pretty brutal on this CT economy. That's one of the kind of the highlights we had for Cloud9. If they want to win, they need to find a round win at some point that resets the economy and gives them a couple easy rounds to rack up.
After Cloud9 now, rebroken, back onto just P250s. Probably not going to be expecting all that much from them in this round. So they're going to be stacking up, hoping to capitalize on any over-aggression from Tempo Storm. But we'll take it pretty directly over to that B bomb site now as they push forward. Good flashbang, and they do catch the retreating player there. That's going to be Lucas. It's almost caught out. But as soon as they actually wrap around the corner, this is the time now. Fortunately, though, Lucas doesn't grab any of them. It's Showtime that picks up the 1 kill and then falls back behind the smoke. Lucas was hoping he could pick one up on his own, but they'll get on the site. They'll be able to find this plant. Shroud is even going to upgrade it. Shroud, along with Stewie, they're acting as a distraction, jumping over the spindles. They'll be able to pick up yet another kill into a 3-on-3 with another rifle into the hands of the T's and some good smokes blocking off the CTs from retaking. They may actually have a chance to close this round out.
Yeah, they definitely do. 2 M4s are salvaged. That nade does massive damage, though. Skidoodle with 1 kill. Can Shroud cover his teammate? He can't. Phelps responds. He gets 2. Big plays from him with the pistol out as well. He's done massive damage to Slemmy. Small hope here. Although the op of Henny, I mean,
I don't even think he caught the defuse.
Yeah, he's not peeking it whatsoever. This is going to be a full defuse. Now he swings out for it. Henny just cleans him up. It's a full 10-second as well. But Tempo Storm, they've got to be careful. That B site has shown some weakness. And as well, that's the kind of surprising play that Cloud9 is going to do that's a little bit, you don't see it too often, just a flat-out, essentially delayed rush towards that B bomb site. Some nicely timed flashbangs catch Tempo Storm defense off guard. You can almost see the relief in their face because they know that was so close to just swinging the other direction.
They do maintain it, keep a 6-2 lead here now with Cloud9 trailing behind, but also getting themselves into another ground round. Full investment this time. No excuses anymore. Skadoodle even has the op, head armor, and full utility sitting behind his own buy. But still going to stick to the very passive setup that we were seeing all throughout Cobblestone and for most of this map so far as well. Waiting, sitting back, trying to capitalize on anything the Tempo Storm tried to throw at them early on in the round. Eventually trying to execute directly towards one of these bomb sites with maybe a little bit of a split coming into the picture.
Molotov is going to force Showtime away. That's a good find. Also, if he was taking a more aggressive angle, that Molotov would prevent him from falling back. And there it is, the shot's faded out. He's out in the open. His teammate isn't there to support him. Smoke comes out just in time. That was Stewie, I believe. Didn't fully commit to that. Not a bad idea. It's a double op setup for Tempo Storm here. Henny has one, Showtime with the other. Cloud9 not aggressing anywhere on the map. It's a very spread out default, much like we saw in Cobble. All 5 members, everyone just watching their own thing, waiting for any aggression that's not coming. 45 seconds left on the clock.
Still a decent amount of time, but a decision is going to have to be made soon by Cloud9 as to where exactly they do want to take this with a 3-2 split still going on. Unless they actually want to try to throw a fake over towards B. This is going to need to start very shortly. And in fact, nades do go in. It's going to be Shroud that leads the charge all on his own to try this fake. It just fails completely though. Showtime shuts him down. And now there's going to be no rotations off of the A-bomb. So they did draw one of them away. The actual natural defenders are holding perfectly fine. N1 and Phelps pick up the first 2 kills. Nothing does actually take down Phelps with his Molotov, but there's only 2 left alive, and the other players have arrived from the B bomb site now. They're shutting this down. Skadoodle responds one of his own pickups here. Nothing dropping down, however. He's going to find one more, but he's alone in the 1v2, and he's under 10 seconds. He's only got 1 left, and he's going to drop that now. Tempo Storm win the round, and now he's going to try to stay alive until the next round. Recovered the op, hits that shot, but it's through the box, so it's not actually going to take down that member of Tempo Storm.
Oh, that almost once again just turned away from Tempo Storm at the last second. Good hold there, but that fake from Shroud did exactly what it was designed to do. It pulled one defender away. It's the op inside that A bomb site and the player in pit who have to hold off a massive attack at the A site. So really, really nicely done, Tempo Storm, not falling too deeply for that, but you can see the idea from Cloud9. They know they've punished that B bomb site a couple times, so run the fake, because you already know Tempo Storm's going to be a little trigger happy on the rotations.
Phelps creeping his way down over here to the T steps, but blinded by it. So he's going to have to give that up pretty quickly there. Had the potential to find maybe 1 or 2 early kills here to essentially immediately put this round into control of Tempo. But it's not going to be the case. Pushed away though, doesn't end up taking any damage, so no harm, no foul essentially for him. As the flashbangs roll out to try and hold back C9 from going for a much more aggressive play through the mid choke.
Look at all the pressure that Cloud9 is putting on Tempo Storm. You can see how nervous they are about this. Look at, I mean, this much utility left with over a minute in the round on the CT side. They've used a lot just by the posturing of Cloud9. Just some of the smokes and the flashes that they've seen, they've had to use their own to counter it because they feel the hit coming on. That's that unexpected factor. They just don't know when it's going to come because Cloud9, there's no intel of them on this map. So Tempo Storm playing it very cautiously, and there's another nice pop flash for Cloud9. Henny, he takes a shot, but he does get away. Nothing going to take this fight, just swings out, takes a shot. Still battling through the smoke. He's got Phelps, he's winning this.
Not going to be enough to actually take him down, though. Phelps has already been in a pretty rough patch so far in this round in itself. Nothing also down at 50 HP. I think he realizes Phelps is going to try to get aggressive, but elsewhere on the B side, Stewie tries to go for a fake. It fails, and there's a great shot from Phelps. Finally locks on to nothing and shuts him down. And he connecting that shot through the smoke. It's up close. They still can't find him. He's pulling out the knife. In the meantime, Phelps and Bolt still shutting it down, and he rolls out with the knife, but Shroud's found 2. Trying to get a bit cheeky there, but not going to work out. Regardless, so they have this into a 3-on-1. And Shroud's going to have to pull up a miracle to close this, but there's one. He's also got Phelps down extremely low, 17 HP. Both these players, though, coming in from opposite sides of the map. Panics really throws out both of those nades, wasting it to a certain degree. It's going to hold them back for a couple of extra seconds, but now going for the reload just as they're creeping back in. This is the reverse drill challenge here, and he's going to fail it. Lucas shuts it down, and there will be an 8th round on the board for Tempo.
Yeah, but so scary. Again, you can see Shroud makes it so dangerous, and they almost overestimate the fact that they're in a 1-on-5, and he gets 3 very, very nice kills. It's one of those rounds that you can almost see it in your head, just watch it slip away before it actually happens, because when you're in that 5-on-1, you're feeling so confident that no matter what you do, you're going to win it because you have so many teammates, but then all of a sudden you lose 3 of them and you're in a 1-on-2. Very, very scary, and a pause here for Cloud9. Plant, they've done a good job of getting kills in some of these last few rounds. The economy for Tempo Storm cannot be that strong.
almost always bringing it down to just about 2 or 3 at the most in every single occurrence here. So they have to be close. It's just that getting this late into the half here now, they need to try and find a way to finish off these rounds. It's always coming down to the clutch.
Yeah, and also, I mean, just a couple of rounds ago, Tempo Storm tried to switch into that double op setup, and they actually lost one of the ops in the process. That's very expensive because their economy wasn't, it wasn't built up or anything like that. Cloud9 had it at a very weak spot, so even that investment, I thought at the time, was just like, this is a very aggressive investment for what kind of money you have in the bank. And losing that one op, it takes so much money off. So, I mean, if Cloud9 can win this round here, you got to think that it's going to be a reset situation for Tempo Storm at some point in these next 2.
And there's still a chance here as well, with the current scoreline, for Cloud9 to bounce back and make this a very close half. The more rounds they're going to be able to grab on this T side, the better. We already saw a slight improvement onto their T side in yesterday's matches, and we talked about this at the end of that game, that the individualistics come out big time. But if they don't get at least like 3 or 4 rounds, it's still going to be a very, very tough challenge to make it back into this game when they jump onto this TT side, where they're hopefully going to have an easier time holding back the members of Tempo Storm.
Has been a very close affair, though, for Cloud9. Surprisingly, these rounds, there have been some very, very close ones. This easily just 1 round win. Otherwise, this could be...
We'll need to get things started, and in fact, we are going live once again. Cloud9 back on to another buy. 5 AKs in the mix.
And it is, it's a little bit of an awkward situation for the money of Tempo Storm. Everyone's sitting right around $1,000, except for one player who's down to like 500. So even if they lose this, I mean, continue grinding this way, they'll get 1 or 2 eventually.
So probably going to be coming to the end of this pause very shortly now. We'll need to get things started, and in fact, we are going live once again. Cloud9 back on to another buy. 5 AKs in the mix.
And it is, it's a little bit of an awkward situation for the money of Tempo Storm. Everyone's sitting right around $1,000, except for one player who's down to like 500. So even if they lose this, I mean, they could go for a force buy, but it might be that situation where Cloud9 can rattle off a 3rd or even a 4th round.
And starting things off, there's that aggressive positioning again from Phelps inside of the apartments. He's waiting for these players to come close up to the T ramp there, and as Cloud9 have been playing around with the apartments quite a bit there, so if they can catch another one early and he's able to freely fall back, that'll be a great advantage, and will definitely cause Cloud9 to freeze up, as we have seen in many of these T sides previously too. It's Luminosity back on day 1, and CLG, it happened a lot, specifically on Mirage, and they played them yesterday as well. Phelps, though, gonna find that first kill, and it's from that exact position. Catches them as soon as he tries to push into the T-Ramp. Shroud spraying through smoke. Gets some good damage going on to Lucas, but Lucas also gets some way more onto him, so he's definitely gonna win that engagement there. Shroud's now down to only 1/3 of his health pool.
But nothing is lost. Henny with the op still. And Tempo Storm, I mean, you could look at the way the defense is lined up on the minimap. You could see a 2nd player on Rap's side. This is maybe to cheat over towards the B bomb site when they feel pressure. Now they're kind of adjusting it. And it is going to be a B hit for Cloud9. Shroud is going to lead the way into this site. Smokes down towards the spawn choke point. There's one off behind Spindles, and there's Showtime coming through with a flashbang. He's traded off by Skadoodle. Lucas as well is ready to go, and he falls. Shroud finds the angle through the crack, so it's going to be a 3-on-3, and it's going to have to be a retake. Once again, though, Tempo Storm with no nades. Same with Cloud9. It's going to be all duels here in this retake.
Slemmy's going to join the assault now, moving himself inside of construction, where most of C9 are going to be posting themselves up. Slemmy very close to the generator, going to try and cut these guys down in the event. They even try to push close to the inside of this room right here. First one to push in is going to be Phelps, and he finds a kill on a Shroud. Bolt's finding another one. It very quickly all comes down to Slemmy, but he's going to be much more mobile this time, looking for that first one. But a messy spray and a great shot from N1. The drop-down kill shuts it down. And Tempo Storm will keep their lead going after the pause from C9.
Yeah, just some really nice wins, and you can see there's no real finesse to that. It's just players from Tempo Storm jumping in, winning their one-on-one battles. Cloud9 couldn't find any way to have man advantage over him, a 2-on-1 somewhere, and even that last kill at the end. A little bit unfortunate because Henny's actually jumping and falling, so it's an awkward battle for Slemmy to take. 2-9 though. A little bit of the danger is averted for Tempo Storm. This time, they're peeking down mid. Henny wants to get aggressive, wants to find an opening kill, and it's going to be a contact play from Cloud9. 4 members walking up towards the B bomb site, 1 lurker and alternate mid. And they're just going to keep walking forward until they see something.
Showtime spotting the play now. Going to try to throw that Molotov, but he knows the play's coming in too quickly. Finds the first one. Slummy with a good response, but in comes Lucas too. He's only going to be able to grab one, so it's an even trade. Cloud9 get control of the bomb site, but N1 cuts off nothing. He tries to move his way through Mexico. It's not going to work out very well. 2-on-3 now. Tempo Storm have the man advantage, and there we go. Bolts just spotted. One of them trying to move up the tree. That's going to be Shroud postured up there, but Bolts can't seem to finish him off. Shroud's going to be able to escape inside of construction for the time being, and Skadoodle lines up the shot into Phelps, shutting him down, trying to support, but the two remaining CTs working their way back in from the CT angle. But for the time being, Tempo Storm, they just push their way back up. Shroud's here to support with Skadoodle too. They're up on top of each other. Skadoodle finding that first one, and he's going to push forward, and he finds that final kill into Henny. Nicely done by Skadoodle there, completely shutting that down almost on his own.
Trades the whole way. It's a little bit sloppy. You can see it's kind of turning into a brawl, but Cloud9 does come on top of it. I'm not sure what Phelps, why he was so aggressive. Just seemed very confident turning that corner that he was going to be safe. Skadoodle, you're exactly right. Gets those last 2 kills. That's huge. And now look at this. Because of the low economy that we've mentioned a couple times now, shotgun on Lucas, 5-7 on Showtime. Henny with an AWP, but he's got no armor behind it. So a good chance here. If Cloud9 wins this all of a sudden turns into a nightmare for Tempo Storm going into their T side.
Now, Tech9 from Stewie here as he tries to push himself back over to the B-bomb site. Hoping he can get someone to push out aggressively, but not going to be the case. And one also lining up to wait for that shot. Still not going to be able to grab anything as Cloud9, after their initial success here, just go right back to the basics. A much more passive setup. Stewie obviously a little bit more aggressive than the rest, but most of them are just sitting back, running that timer down right now.
Shroud spamming through the smoke, seeing if he can get lucky at all, see if he can find any kind of information. 50 seconds left. Cloud9 only has 1 smoke to utilize, but they've shown that they don't really necessarily need all the utility in the world to win out these rounds. They've had some very aggressive dueling that's turned in their favor. And this is looking like it's going to be a pinch on the B bomb site. So Rap side is going to be under pressure. Smoke comes out. This will allow the 2 members of Cloud9, unless Henny can hit some lucky shots through the smoke, to wrap in towards CT Sun, but it's not very deep. So when they come through this, Henny might have an opportunity, and there it is. Slummy falls, but the second player just keeps running forward. He's lost his teammate, but he's pushing in. There's the shotgun, comes out. 2 kills for Lucas. Much like Cobble, 2 impact kills the shotgun, but Skadoodle is still alive.
And as well, the plant's going to come in, and nothing's watching for the rotation too, so it's going to go onto the ground. Unfortunately, Skadoodle does have to watch out as 2 players are working their way in, but he's able to hold that off as well, picking up 1 more. Didn't spot the second as of yet, and N1, nicely done, peeks back out. Now Skadoodle's stuck between a rock and a hard place, essentially. He's going to peek out, but he's got to watch his flank. There's the first shot. Now check behind you, and no, he escapes. He's in the safe flank position now, and he can just walk away. Is this going to be the ace from Skadoodle, waiting for the last shot? And he's going to do it! Skadoodle with a huge clutch grabs the ace, and a 4th round up on the board for C9.
What a time to come alive in this matchup. Skadoodle with all 5 kills. It's so beautifully done. This play here, he knows there's a timer on that, and then he can just hold the angle. An awkward spot to be at. He just chooses the 1v1 he wants to take. And now Tempo Storm on their back foot, feeling the pressure. They only have pistols. They did win one of these rounds earlier. They had armor at the time. But if Cloud9 can sustain through this, and it's looking like they are with this opening kill, and the second one, Slummy finds it, all of a sudden they'll be up at 5, and even this next round for Tempo Storm is going to be a very weak buy. So Cloud9, we mentioned it, 1 fortunate win at the right moment could give them everything they need.
And with this now, the final 3 from Tempo Storm, lining up specifically closer to the A-bomb site to get a lot more aggressive. Bolts tried to push out. He's dropped by Slummy, and he's hitting himself right outside of the mid-choke point there, but they've spotted him too, so Stewie and nothing. Clean up Tempo, and there we go. 5 on the board. Looking good to maybe claim a 6th.
This is, I mean, for all the talk we had about, for everything we saw yesterday, and all the talk that kind of, spurred us forward about the terror sides of Cloud9. I mean, they won pistol and then lost the ensuing round. They've now won 4 gun rounds, potentially a 5th. After a day yesterday in which, on Mirage, I think they went, I mean, they haven't won a round on Mirage on 2 sides this entire event. So this is a very nice terror side they're putting together, not only on Cobble previously, but here on Inferno. Give them a big advantage in the series, and you could see the pressure it's put on Tempo Storm. It seems like some of this composure has slipped away that we normally see out of both Brazilian teams. They're losing it, and Stewie's going to find one over the flames. That's Lucas that fell. all of a sudden a big advantage for C9.
Falling back a little bit though, not going to over-aggress themselves as they found that first kill on Lucas. Will give Tempo Storm a little bit of room to push back out to the car angle if they'd like to try and take another duel once more. In the meantime, Nothing moving himself inside of the apartments to keep another option alive too. In there, could find himself a duel against Phelps as he's playing around with the shotgun inside of that position. But Nothing, still very passive, as the rest of his team is here too, just sitting back and waiting for the right opportunity to find their way into the bomb site. And now Nothing's going to push forward. Smoke rolls out, but he's able to push directly past it. He's going to have a good advantage here, especially at range, and the rest of his team is taking his wrap around and shut him down. And one's there for good support, but Shroud does take him down. Phelps, though, still with the shotgun and trying to bait out these shots. He finds a second kill before going down to Shroud. Great damage is done, but in the 2-on-2, Shroud finds another pickup. He's up to 3 in this round alone, and it's going to fall to Showtime now to clutch things out.
This is the difference in the T side for Cloud9 in this map. Yesterday we saw they had some good openings, and even on Cobble at a certain point, they had some good openings. They couldn't capitalize on it. Now here on Inferno, it's the mid-rounds in which player like Shroud, Skadoodle, we saw the impact he had. His opening kills are giving them gaps that they can work with and make their plays. And Cloud9 in a 2-on-1 here. Bomb is going to be going down. Showtime has the flashbang right through the smoke, and he's going to run in. He's going to follow it up. He gets the first kill very quickly. Can't get the second, though. Shroud, 4 kills on the round. Cloud9 has a fantastic terrorist half. 6 rounds to the 9 of Tempo Storm.
An ace from Skadoodle followed up by almost another one coming out from Shroud. Grabs 4 to 5 though. And with that said, Cloud9 are in a great position, depending on the results of their CT side, to maybe take this set away from the guys on Tempo Storm. They'll have to start it off well with a 9-6 scoreline. The possibility of a comeback now is a very, very real thing.
Yeah, I mean, they've set the stage perfectly for this, for just upsetting this series 2-0, especially on a map Inferno. What a story that would be. Perhaps the last time they have to worry about it for some time, and they finally defeat that old enemy of theirs in the map pool. But still a long way to go. Nothing is assured. It's a very simple. I mean, obviously you switch sides. It's the same kind of outlook for Tempo Storm. Even if they get bogged down at any point, if they can just get that one reset of the economy, then all of a sudden, I mean, they're right back into it on the Terra side.
So now, as Tempo Storm's players switch sides here, they'll take a moment to figure out exactly how they do want to play this. 9-6 can still be very volatile, though, if they get themselves off to the hot start. But for pistols, it's been Cloud9 dominating things so far. Like we said before, they're 3 for 3 on pistol rounds. So we'll see if they can pick up a 4th now and make it flawless continuously now. As they close out the second match pistol rounds. There's Shroud with the first one. Lucas getting into the action very quick. Skadoodle a bit overexposed, but he does survive. He's able to retreat back behind the mid choke point with 34 HP.
This is Cloud9 making a statement, and you almost at this point want to say the statement's made. Just fall back. Don't lose any more players. Got to sustain into the mid round with this pistol, but that's them saying we're not going to be afraid to take fights. They want to stop things quickly. Molotov comes out a little bit late, so one member of Tempo Storm has already passed it. That flashbang works perfectly. Stewie's under too much pressure. It did hold the rest of Tempo Storm back and has allowed the rotation to come in from Cloud9, and Nothing is even going to box them in, but if he falls, there's an avenue for retreat of Tempo Storm, and Bolts already sees them coming up.
Skadoodle's only got a few bullets left in the clip here too, so he's going to have to be very careful. Bolts, flashbang goes over the top there, and Nothing on the flank. Nicely done from him, but he can't find the second kill, despite the fact that Lucas was so low here. So now Bolts trying to hold himself into the site itself. Couple more players further back out, but there's a flank coming in. Shroud throws the flashbang at him. He knows he's behind him. He's trying to find this kill first. The knife is out, but Bolts is going to shut it down first. And we will see, finally, out of 4, Tempo Storm claiming their first pistol round so far in this set.
So many different situations this round could have just turned it around. Stewie with that Molotov, but that's a couple seconds early. He doesn't get taken out. He holds back Tempo Storm just longer. And they're able to rotate over before that hit comes in. Unfortunately, one member slips by it. So 10-6, Tempo Storm with that pistol round. And he's going to be on the MAC-10. It is investment from Cloud9, upgraded pistols. They have Shroud on the Scout. And that's going to be in apartments, in A-halls. There's the aggression from Bolts. The Molotov forces Stewie out. Also does some damage on him as he retreats, but still alive. 3 members here for Cloud9, just in case this pressure from Tempo Storm is kept up. But the bomb's all the way down at the bottom of the stairs, so they're not going to press into the site at the moment.
You can see already they've got Nothing posted back on the porch angle, but Tempo Storm are ready if they try to push past the smoke. Look at how close they are now, moving out. Bolt's already catching one of them here. Also, just a second, they're going to come to the realization that Phelps was waiting for them just behind them the entire time, so he's going to shut down 2 of them there. leaving it just on Shroud and Skadoodle, the two A-site defenders, to try and do something about this, but ultimately this buy-up is not going to lead to them getting all that much, and we should be looking at the 11th round for Tempo Storm now.
Yeah, nicely done from Bolter. The last 2 kills go his way. Don't lose too much. Don't take very much damage in terms of either players or money that they have to reinvest. Get up towards 11. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, that was a very aggressive pistol round. Even that second round from Cloud9 was very aggressive. All 3 players in B just fighting at the choke point, essentially. Sticking around, kind of. It seemed like they were almost indecisive of whether they wanted to push forward, try to catch someone off guard, or just kind of fall back. So, got to be a little bit careful of that going into the gun rounds, but one more pistol to get through.
Boasting themselves up now. They've gone for the risky stack, but if they reveal themselves too early, Tempo Storm just going to waltz right onto the B-bomb site, and despite that fact, they might just waltz onto the site anyway. They've smoked it off and everything, and then one's going to call up the signal in just a second to bring the bomb over here. There's no defenders whatsoever, so they can even just smoke off this mid-choke. They know Cloud9 aren't really going to have any investment, but regardless, Phelps is chasing them down with the P90.
Lucas, nice shot up mid. Slimmy gets caught out in the open, and now it's Phelps' turn. When this smoke fades, might be able to find one. There's the bomb plant. Here's all these footsteps. There's no reason for them to really chase. They could just grab positions and see if anyone's going to walk into their crosshair, but don't want to lose that AK. Thankfully, he's got the MAC-10 there to support it, to recover that AK-47, get the kill as well. And it looks like Cloud9 knows there's someone here. Lucas, he's got to be very cautious. He's being hunted, but he finds that opening kill. And it's going to be a 12th round.
Phelps hunting down inside of the lower pit there, but not going to find anybody. It's all laying down to Skadoodle. As he's left as the last one left alive here inside of Banana. Could sneak away that kill, but nope. Lucas spots you, shuts you down. And only 1 kill coming out from Cloud9 on that run, but past the ecos now, they're going to get the chance to put some big guns in their hands, and we'll see how they can work out with that. If they can keep this comeback rolling. Like we were saying before, though, 96 to that very volatile scoreline, and we've gone from this being an incredibly close game to now, well, Tempo Storm has doubled the scoreline of C9.
Yeah, but it is on the CT side, so it's closer than it looks, because Cloud9, they can rattle these off. We know they're a strong CT team. We know Inferno is, CT-sided, usually pretty strong for the CT side. Skadoodle has the AWP as well, and all it's going to take is a couple wins to build up the bank, build up the Molotovs and the nades that Cloud9 can keep rebuying, and we'll see this gap close very, very quickly. An important round here for Tempo Storm. If they can win this, if they reset Cloud9 here, they've given themselves such a good chance to win this series, or to win this map, excuse me. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Nothing, sitting himself back behind the porch area now. It's showtime inside of the apartments, but mainly from Tempo Storm. The bomb's here as well, but they're looking like they want to try to investigate an option for a B hit, as Stewie does have, I think, a very, very slight position where he can see through this smoke. You can see him just creeping out where he can spot just a little bit past it, enough to make it competent, but Al's going to try to bail out of it there to re-smoke things past the spindles and into the choke point. But Tempo Storm, no reason to rush things. Still with just under now, 50 seconds left on that clock. They can take their time about this, but they are getting ready to push into the site. However, Cloud9 got a bit skittish about this, and they're sort of expecting there to be a B hit. Now they got a good read on it, and Skadoodle has rotated in. He's got the glass cannon up, gonna find the first kill, looking for more, but he's gotta be careful of that spray. Gets hit by it, and so far only has that 1 kill, but it has scared off Tempo Storm, and they're rotating down to the A site now.
Yeah, I mean, wise decision as well, because I don't know if they realize that there's 3 members of Cloud9 here. Even Skadoodle on the rotation back towards A. He's going to continue to be a nightmare. Nothing in the sight. Shroud in the pit. What can come from this? Shroud's not spotted out. There's no utility for Tempo Storm to use. They're running into the blender at the moment. Crossfire with nothing, and Shroud and Pit still alive, and nothing's doing some work. He eventually does fall, but Shroud as well. A little bit of a mistake, but Skadoodle's there to recover from it, and the bomb cannot go down. There's no time left. Bolts just has to stay alive. And that's the first gun round. Cloud9 have passed their first test in the second half.
Last player from Tempo does end up making it out of the round, so they'll save that. But still here now, Cloud9, as you mentioned, that was the first big test, of course, after dropping the pistol. Can they win the first gun round? Now, however, is the consistency test. Can they actually string multiple rounds together to keep their economy alive? Good shots from Skadoodle again, bringing themselves into this one, and that last one just barely missing in the mark.
If he misses that shot, I think Tempo Storm loses that round anyway, actually. It was 3 seconds on the clock when he gets that kill, so the bomb wasn't going to be planted in time no matter what happened. He does at least take one of the guns out of away from Tempo Storm, so forces a rebuy. Money a little bit lower, but now Henny's got the op as well. And still, I mean, you can see it's a little bit light in terms of, not utility, but just the weaponry they have. 4 FAMASs on the board for Cloud9.
There we go. Stewie's just going to push right out. A bit of a messy spray, though, but he gets some great damage on the N1, bringing him down to 20 HP. Slemmy sitting in the back now, getting hit by a nade. Not all that much damage. I think he's dropping a quarter of his health off.
The fact that Stewie gets away with that kind of a play without getting punished by Tempo Storm, that's a little bit of timid play from Tempo Storm, I think. Maybe expecting Scoodle to be there with covering, so they didn't want to just peek into the crosshairs of the AWP, but he had no smoke, no flashbangs to really cover that retreat. His massive damage and survives.
3 from Tempo outside of the A-bomb site, but 1 shifting over to help out with the possible B aggression. That's going to be N1 again. Who got hit quite heavily earlier with that aggressive push that came out from Stewie. Never was really punished for that all that much. The rest of C9 still on the A-bomb site and still, again, not shifting away as of yet despite these nades moving. And finally, we see Skadoodle starting to push his way back over. But look at this position from Showtime now. He's pushed up the long haul closer inside of the apartment. He might be ready to go out himself. Now they're going to push into the B-bomb site. They found both of the entries, and in fact, they could just call off this A hit entirely now. That was supposed to be a fake, but now they got control of this tight. Showtime. Bit of an awkward duel there with Shroud, but he ends up coming out on top. Now, however, Cloud9, they've just got to race over to that B site to try and go for a retake, if they even want to do it now. Yeah,
it could have been an awkward situation. Tempo, I mean, they take that B bomb site so clean in a 2-on-2. That was supposed to be a fake, but it's a good thing Tempo Storm didn't commit a little bit too early, or else they would have ran right into 3 Cloud9 members who had already called for a full save. Henny as well doesn't need to take that fight, but he does drop the ult.
And now they're just going to be saving this time. Do have a double op set up for free now that they're going to be able to bring into the next round.
This is the thing. Look at Henny's money. He's got $150. So losing that op is actually huge. That's a big investment that they'll have to make. It's the only op they had. And now it's also given double ops over towards Cloud9. So a little bit of a mistake there in terms of you don't have the money to kind of sustain that kind of a hunt as well. Just very low on HP, even if he doesn't meet the op of Skadoodle. It's the M4 or the AK of Nothing or Shroud that was probably going to clean him out. So small mistake there at the end, but still another round on the board for Tempo Storm.
We already saw yesterday, too, just how potent Stewie can end up being with that secondary op in his hands. If we assume that they're going to throw it over to him on this map, he was absolutely insane with it on the CT side, specifically on Cash, holding back to his quad and the aggressive pushes in A main. Saw a lot from there, so we would assume it would go into his hands, and that's exactly who they're going to give it to now. He'll push back over to the B-bomb site. Still keeping Skadoodle closer to the A site, however.
Now you run into the trouble, though. I mean, this is... Oh, look at this fast pace out of Tempo. All 5 members towards Banana. They don't want to go for any kind of map control whatsoever. They're going to throw a flash. They're not. Stewie finds that pick. Falls back, but he's going to stay aggressive. He's going for more. He doesn't really just want a car, though. A mistake, and now it's all on Slemmy. A 1-on-4 situation with the Famas. He has dropped a smoke, but they're already through it. Playing over at triple. Can he get one? He can, but he falls immediately after. It's going to be a 3-on-3.
Quick rotation coming in from Cloud9, though. Almost the entire team has arrived here already to try and go for the retake itself. Skadoodle, though, he's burning, and he might not get out of that. Just 12 HP left alive. Nothing did burn another one of his opponents, though, in the meantime. Drop down Lucas, so they've got this in a 3-on-2, but both Nothing and Ska are so low at this point. Shroud's the only one with a real health pool to work with. Tossing out the nade. He's still got a flashbang. They are scared of there being a flank, but that's definitely not going to be something they'll have to worry about. Just some bad intel getting out into the mix there, but N1's going to be allowed to push himself back over here towards the porch angle. Still very passive about this. The bomb did just go down, so they're not stretched for time as of yet, but that's another shot that connects over onto Nothing through the smoke, bringing him into 6 HP now. He's going to push in first, but there's Straub with the pick up on the bolts. 1 left alive. It falls to Henny to hold this up, but he's just going to give himself away. Jumping up, Scott shuts it down, and the 8th round comes up onto the board for C9.
This aggression from Cloud9 is putting so much pressure on Tempo Storm, and they almost don't know how to deal with it. Stewie makes a little bit of a mistake with that re-peek there, and Cloud9 recovers from it perfectly. Another retake goes in the way, another post-plant in the way of Cloud9. They've been phenomenal in the series so far with these, and that's an area that, I mean, normally Tempo Storm is very, very strong in those. They've actually taken away one of the strengths of Tempo Storm across these last 2 maps.
Tempo Storm now, still with enough cash left to go for their buy. Going to toss the extra AK they had over to Showtime instead of allowing N1 to use it there. He's just going to roll the Tech 9 this time around. And for the rest of these guys, a quick push up towards alt middle. Possibly going to use some apartments control and try to line up the push in through the actual mid choke point as well. Directly to A, not even fooling around, at least in the early round with Banana this time.
Yeah, and here they come up mid, the execution. Skadoodle's going to be forced away. 4 members of Cloud9 here, though. And with enough utility in the choke points, I mean, this hit from Tempo Storm has been slowed down. They know it's coming, and there it is, a little bit delayed. Nothing gets the first kill, and the second. Can't spray down the third, but Shroud's in the pit. A double pit setup works miraculously, and Tempo Storm gets destroyed as they try and enter that bomb site.
Probably about a 5-second fight in total there, but it's almost all of C9 just dominating the playing field. And I mean, we've been seeing trades in the past here, but in all honesty, Tempo Storm, they don't really get anything there. So that's a great round from C9 economically here to keep building up their money on the CT side.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, there's a lot of utility in this. You can see a tactical pause now, and this isn't a bad decision to make. You still have a good round lead, so call it when you still have a couple rounds to play with. This next one will be more than likely a save. They didn't get a plant in that round. Didn't even get close to the bomb site. But so much counter utility used by Cloud9. I mean, they had all the intel that hit was coming in by just the sheer amount of nades that were thrown by Tempo Storm. And when their owner responded, it delays everything so much. So maybe a Molotov fades, maybe one of the defenders gets unblind in that time period, gets a new angle onto a choke point, and they find all the kills they need.
4 rounds still ahead though. Tempo Storm very well take this onto a map number 3. All they have to do is figure out how exactly they can get themselves onto these sites, and to a certain degree solve the same issue that C9 needed to solve back on their own T side, which was finishing off these rounds. The last round's a bit of an exception, but for the most part, they've usually been able to get onto the site, get the plant. It's just coming down to the clutch a lot of the time, where C9's coming out on top in the CT side. A lot of chaos happening. They can't seem to control it. So Cloud9 comes out on top in a lot of these rounds, rounding it back. And they themselves are now only a few away from tying it up and sealing away the lead.
And this pause, it can also be, you know, there's a lot of teams that talk about pauses aren't necessarily always strategic. Maybe sometimes it's, you know, just to get a little bit refocused, maybe to calm the nerves a little bit. And I think that's part of what Tempo Storm needs to do. And that's a lot of the mistakes they've made in some of the post plants that we've seen, where Cloud9's able to have these retakes. I mean, that last one on the B bomb, so that turned into a 3-on-3. They had smokes, they had Molotovs, and they don't throw them over towards garden or towards construction whatsoever. The plant's out in the open, and actually the planter gets picked off, and that's what turns that into a 2-on-3 instead of a 3-on-3 for Tempo Storm. So, I mean, if they're a little bit more patient, a little bit more self-aware as they're entering into these high-pressure situations, which they're normally great at. I mean, they drop that smoke, and then more than likely it gives them a big advantage to kind of win that round.
But Cloud9 definitely not safe as of yet. However, we will be getting back into the game, and pause not really going to come into effect for the T side on this round. Just upgraded pistols this time from Tempo Storm. Couple Deagles.
And they want to get it over with.
Yep, they're pushing directly in. There's already one shot coming off from Skadoodle. Going to molly off the cross. That's how the rest of these guys come in, but nothing's going to grab 2. Looking for a 3rd now. Almost going to be overwhelmed here. In fact, he might go down 17 HP. Trying to hug the wall. There's a good flashbang, though. Up close and personal. Finds a kill. Bolts does pick one up with a Deagle. Finds the headshot. But Stewie takes down the final player. Quick round, as we expect, in the favor of C9.
The one other thing, I mean, you can see that rush. It looked like they want to get that round over with just to get into the next gun round. But one thing it also could do, and this would be some next level mind games, is if you a mid rush like that, it also gives you the intel of how Cloud9 is playing their defense, at least initially in that portion of the map. So if they want to try and exploit something moving forward in this half, if they want to say, all right, nothing is really working, let's just try and make some kind of a play, someone just get up mid quick. Then they have the intel of what Cloud9 is doing in mid that early on.
Stewie now going to take the angle back over here behind the car once again. Doesn't spot that. What?
What?
That's an amazing flick on the Phelps that he just absolutely shuts it down with. And now he's going to look for more, too. There's another player there sitting behind the archway. If he can get him peeking back out, that smoke as well might force them outside of cover. He can pick them up. He's going to unscope, but there's another one! Shuts down Bolts. He's going to look for the 3rd, but he's able to retreat. Regardless, though, he's chopped the leg off of Tempo Storm, and they've only got one left to stand on.
Stewie has forced them away from Banana. It's closed, Tempo Storm. Back to the A bomb site, 3-on-5 situation. Showtime's just going to come right up through this smoke, trying to catch someone off guard. Cloud9 at least is initially blind, but out of nades. One smoke, one Molotov for the Tempo Storm side to use. And they've got so much ground to cover still. The bomb is still down towards the B bomb site. That's going to be on Henny. He's just watching for pushes that aren't coming. And they do have Lucas in advanced position, but he's just going to fall away from it.
They're not finding anything at all. Cloud9's not giving them an inch to work with. The only aggression that they've had to face so far has been from
They're already
Stewie.
giving up in this round.
And what?
30 seconds left.
And they're just going to call it. They're going to post up and hide. Cloud9 probably not going to hunt them because this is so unorthodox. You would not expect them to do this at all.
Cloud9 is definitely winning the mental game so far in this matchup. They have a huge edge over Tempo Storm at the moment.
As now Tempo Storm sit back, they'll be able to carry over a lot into the next round, so they'll have the arsenal, but now the question is, how do they get themselves on at the sites? It's just been a slow, almost regression of Tempo Storm. They started off this half great. They almost were going to run away with a lead to a certain point where it looked like they could just close out this map, but all of a sudden, Cloud9 gets their defenses a lot better. It was coming down to those clutches, which they started winning, and now they can't even get even close to a site.
Yeah, and we should bring this up one last time as well. Okay, this was just dirty. Let's watch the beauty here. So quick.
That's incredible. And then he gets another one as well.
Let's point this out, because that op that Stewie has, this double op setup that started out, I mean, that's from when Henny made that one mistake of just giving up the op at the end of the round that they already won. He didn't need to chase anything. And this is kind of the double op setup that has started Cloud9 on this run, but there's a small mistake. Trying to do a little bit too much now. Tempo Storm can slow this down, actually, but they have all 5 members in Banana. They have no map control anywhere else, so really, actually, the only option is to push forward.
Moving into the site, it's going to come down to Phelps, but nothing. Responds first from CT. He's trying to spray through. He's got a nade in hand, and Slemmy picks up another kill too. They trade that back out, but that nade's going to do ultra damage. 21 and 25 HP. Down onto N1, N-Bolt. Showtime as well, up at 64. As Molotov, if placed properly, could just end the life of one of them completely. It's going to bounce off, but it's a little bit light, so it's not actually going to make it all the way over that smoke.
Yeah, now Tempo Storm as well knows there's 2 members of Cloud9. There's the peak. Leg Skadoodle. He's very low, but he misses the shot. Henny and Bolts, they can't take very much damage whatsoever. Everyone's kind of boxed in, but there it is, the firing squad. Nothing comes in. He falls to Showtime. Tempo Storm is holding on. They fight back for their 14th.
And nicely done by N1 now. That's going to be a big hold from him to shut all of that down with such low HP. Picks up 3 kills in that round.
This has been such a slugfest. It was almost like Tempo Storm didn't actually want to hit the B bomb site at that point. The smoke that's thrown towards that CT spawn choke point when entering the B site, it was very, very haphazard. There's a huge gap in it that allowed nothing to do massive damage. They were very delayed in it. It was 1 member who's really pushing up Banana and 4 very, very far back, still at the base.
Cloud9, though, some good damage was up in the N1 early on in this round. Cloud9, though, it's not going to waste any time reinvesting into that double op setup because it has been so effective. Stewie, of course, making a bit of a mistake in that last round by getting over aggressive and pushing himself out, but they're going to have no trouble whatsoever justifying the rebuy on that.
Very passive play from Tempo Storm. They don't want to move anywhere across the map. Yeah, I mean, one of the telling things, the bomb is still all the way down towards T spawn. This would be an error of epic proportions if they somehow don't realize this at some point during the execute. Everyone's very far away. It looks like Lucas now has realized the error, so he's gone back to get it. There's a minute left on the clock still. But again, Tempo Storm, they win that last round, but they really are suffering in terms of the money they have to bring into these. Again, just pointing out the nades. They've got a smoke, a Molotov, and 1 flashbang left for whatever they want to do, and it's going to be towards that B bomb site again. 3 members here from Cloud9, though. The timing shot from Stewie is perfect, and he can't recover. Phelps finds that, but Slemmy's there for the recovery. Nothing as well. They combine to hold this B bomb site initially, and it's a 2-on-3.
Lucas does trade out the kill onto nothing now, so into the 2-on-3 we go, but Tempo Storm, they're stuck behind a smoke wall. They don't even want to push it. They've been held back, and this has bought all the time in the world for C9 to rotate over. You're even going to feel that they may have fallen back now, and this is going to prompt number 8 player Shroud to move back over to the A bomb site just for safety reasons. He'll be coming back pretty quickly though when they do realize the hit is still very much on to this B bomb site. But Slemmy already picked up 1 kill. He's gonna have to try and do a little bit more. Showtime though with a good entry, moves in, takes down Skadoodle. Slemmy peeking back out from New Box though, taking down 1 more, and the final one. Slemmy with the 3K. Everybody on Cloud9 is coming out with some big rounds.
What a huge individual effort from Slemmy there, but not just that. The call to stack 3 players at the B bomb site catches Tempo Storm completely off. Not expecting that whatsoever.
And now Cloud9 going to be very close once again from tying things up and stealing away this map from Tempo.
The series.
Yeah. And on Inferno of all maps to do it on. A map that Cloud9 have known to just be horrendous on in the past. But somehow they're making it work here. It's the new hope from Brazil.
They're having a really, really tough time. Cloud9 has knocked them off their game very, very much so in this match. You can see it in some of the plays, but they still have a chance here. They're still up 14-12. This defense, though, from Cloud9 is just rolling at the moment.
And now it is going to be another attempt, but this SMG up close from Stewie. Pop flash. He's not going to spot them that aggressive, though. But what happened with Phelps? He doesn't find anything. And now Slemmy back behind an emo. He's going to pick up 1. Finds a second one at N1. Looking for a third. Finally, Bolt trades that out. But Stewie with the flick shuts it down. The final 2 go down to him. Stewie's going off once again, and Cloud9 will just be one round away from tying things up.
What is going on? Phelps, that is a kill that you think he has 10 out of 10 times. A missed opportunity there for Tempo Storm. A very, very good call. But now they're back to the weapons. They're back to the rifles. 14-13. This time Cloud9 not challenging for banana control. No deep smoke as well. Tempo Storm at least has some footing there.
3 Galils in the mix, though, from Tempo Storm, so downgrading a lot, and also with N1 working with the Tech 9. Could leave a lot of room for error here from Tempo Storm. I think they are tired of going through these B hits. They know it's not working out. So looking like a shift over to try and go directly into the A bomb site this time. Skadoodle and Shroud are your main men to look to try and hold this back off, and also having the support coming in from nothing on the Rap side too, but Tempo Storm very skittish about this, very passive about it, but they will go for the execute. Flashbang rolls out. That's going to push Skadoodle back further into the bomb site, but he's now going to move in, watching for Rap side as well to support nothing a bit more.
Tempo Storm, they do have a member, looks like Henny, he was up mid. He's now gone into the window. They're going to fall all the way back, but the bomb is actually over here. So this is, they've done a couple B hits here. They've kind of got Cloud9 used to them attacking this B bomb site later on in the round. So this is a fake. They're going to see what they can find over here. Unfortunately, no one from Cloud9. This time there's not a stack with 3 members. They need to get kills. And Stewie's at a really awkward off angle behind that smoke. He gets the first one, falls back into the site. That has pulled the rotation, but Phelps has pushed forward, much like the last round, except this time he gets the kill. And now here comes the pressure at the A site. The bomb and one other member coming out, but it's going to be Shroud and Skadoodle who get both of those kills. It's been shut down. Cloud9 not getting faked out today.
And they're going to tie it up now, 14-14. 2 more away from stealing this series and pushing them into the grand finals against either Luminosity or Team Liquid, getting the results of our other semifinal.
That's kind of the thing too. At this stage in the match, if you're calling a fake, it's almost like saying we don't have anything that's going to work. We've got to try and trick them. Tempo Storm has been shut down so much in so many different styles they've tried to play on this map.
Look at this buy from Tempo Storm too. They have nothing, and
Look at the nade damage.
Yeah, that nade damage just destroyed them. Lucas down at 46, and N1 and Bolt at 26 and 39 respectively. So they're going to try to push back up Banana again, but how many times have we seen this get destroyed by C9? Stewie already with 2, shining a 3rd. Slummy coming into the picture as well. He's going to pick one up, and Stewie with a 4K. Nothing can be gained by the Brazilians, and it might just end up being Cloud9 with the 2-0.
Have they done it? Stewie not letting anyone into this B bomb site throughout this half has just been a wall.
And we will go, guys, into this next round. Op is back in the hands of N1. 4 rifles as well. Still a decent amount of utility, but this is going to be it. This is their last chance, and they've got to take it into OT now as well. It's not even a guaranteed win anymore, whereas Cloud9 feeling the confidence. They've been breaking Tempo Storm, forcing them into awkward situations left and right. We just haven't seen all that much from them in the past few.
12-6 at one point for Tempo Storm. It's been a 9-2 run to bring Cloud9 to this point.
And it's been Stewie coming alive entirely on this second half. Despite that, though, not lower on the scoreboard than you'd expect, but definitely a huge impact player with holding back these constant B pushes in almost every single round.
Apartment control for Tempo Storm, but what can they do with it? I mean, they've had it in the past. Cloud9's not really challenging it. They haven't gotten aggressive over there. And this has essentially just very much been a very standard defense that Cloud9 is running, occasionally cheating a 3rd player over towards the B bomb site. They've done it perfectly. They've had the great reads on it. But other than that, there hasn't been too much variation to it. Giving a lot of ground for Tempo Storm to work with. Once they get up mid, it's just there's not a lot of utility on the Tempo Storm side. And actually, Phelps just running around the corner. Gets clothesline, but there's Bolt. Finds Shroud, and now Skadoodle in a tough spot. Has Tempo Storm done it? Nothing's got to hold on a little bit longer, but he can't. Only gets 1. And now it's got to be a retake. Tempo Storm on the verge of forcing overtime.
2-on-3 here now, and Stewie pushing his way back out. Gonna try to flash things to make sure there's no presence here, but it's only to try and alert some presence in that direction. Both of them are retaking together back around the library side instead, moving themselves in. Stewie striking first, doesn't realize he's one on the point, however, and Henny gets the double to end it. Stewie and Slemmy both go down, and we are going into OT, ladies and gentlemen.
A dagger to the heart. Henny, what a shot. But you can just see, I mean, it's not even excitement on the Tempo Storm side, it's relief. It's thank God that we just forced overtime.
And now we have another chance to maybe steal this map away and take it into a third one here, but it's been a Cloud9 hype train throughout the entire second half here, as it just looked like they were in full control of things. So they're not going to close it out yet, but they still have to be feeling great about the way they bounce back in this game on a map that they've always been so weak on.
And now, I mean, going into overtime, a lot of the struggles that TempoStorm had in the second half, I mean, we saw a number of times where they gained map control. I was trying to allude to it on that last round. They gained control of apartments, they gained control of top mid, but there's really, they don't have anything to go from there. They're out of nades, they're out of a good amount of flashbangs for any kind of strong execution. Well, now into overtime, when they start with $10,000, there's going to be plenty of nades bought up to open things out.
That American flag is struggling a little bit there. It's an awkward situation.
Just like Cloud9, struggles but not out.
So we'll jump into OT in just a moment, guys. There's Skadoodle again, another player. It's been odd, to be completely honest. We saw a lot from him in the first half, but the second half, and this kind of happened yesterday too, all the op presence was coming from Stewie to a certain degree.
I mean, it's just a more aggressive style of playing. I've mentioned it a number of times on the desk that Skadoodle's not that kind of opera that wants to take over the game. It's much more just fundamental, hold his angle. When he makes his plays, when he makes his impact plays in the mid-rounds, he's not going to go search out kills, not going to go search out picks. That's Stewie. That is Stewie's style. We've seen it a number of times, for better or for worse. In this game, though, more often than not, better.
That's not to say, however, that Skadoodle has been completely useless in this half. He did have that incredible ace very closely towards the end of the first half there, and then Shroud following up with some nice plays to 8 to 4K directly after that. So some very big plays indeed from the individual side of things coming out from C9.
Shroud has been a critical player in these retakes. He's a big reason why they've been able to retake that B bomb site and post plants. He's hit some very nice shots, kind of re-entering into that site.
But it still remains a very close set here now. Cloud9 hoping now that they can end things there. There we go. There's some American spirit. Headband, shirt. He's got a flag cape too.
Hopefully a beer somewhere as well.
I'm sure he is. He's up at the Bud Light booth. But it's not over yet, folks. Cloud9 may still have a chance to still get dropped out of this one as well. Consider that. After coming so far, TempoStorm could very well just bounce this back. We'll be going into OT. And of course, for those of you who are not too familiar with this tournament's rules or have not seen many overtimes in general, it's going to be MR3, 3 rounds per half, and we switch sides. Teams will stay on the same sides they ended regulation time with, and they will all start with $10,000 at the beginning of each half.
And that opens the playbook back up to TempoStorm, and as well, this is a very long break in between regulation and overtime, so plenty of time for TempoStorm to talk about something. I'm not sure if there's some kind of technical issue. Some of the, I mean, you can see something at the moment, headphones aren't even on, so there is something that they know has delayed the start of this, so plenty of time to talk things over for both teams to kind of figure out if they want to make any adjustments, anything they just want to make sure everyone has on their minds. In a bird's eye view, it's a 3-on-1.
It's not looking good. Look, you can't even get the flag out there. There you go, fight him. Get it out there a little more. Nicely done. All right, guys, we are going into OT now. Tied up completely. TempoStorm did manage to piece together at least one more round there at the end of the half, but Cloud9 looking to take control of map number 2 and push themselves over to the grand finals, whereas TempoStorm now fighting for survival here to claim this map and push it on to Cash.
Again, look at the nade damage down Banana early on. Henny already down to 40, hasn't even seen anyone. And there's this time slowly, it's not very aggressive, but they do want to take control of Banana. They do want to have some presence close up towards this B bomb site. Force Cloud9, force the defenders to use some of the utility. 5 Molotovs, 4 smoke still for the CT side. And how much is this going to force out? Because they are faking an execution early on. They've essentially used all the nades that Phelps and Bolts have. They're already out.
So far, it's not really drawing any rotations whatsoever. Nothing is thinking about it. We can see he's shifting back and forth, but he's waiting for the final call from someone on that site.
It's not the rotations they're looking for. They're looking for a Molotov or a smoke to get dropped in that choke point, something they wouldn't have to deal with when they actually want to execute, which is right now, but there's still 5 Molotovs on the board, and now a third player is cheating over. no presence at, hey, Tempo Storm, this has not worked. This is going to be a tough spot for him.
Moving back in, Stewie peeks out initially, even running into that Molotov, but Tempo Storm, they're taking their good old time with this one, and Showtime going to try to throw it back over to the site, but now they're working their way into the B-bomb site. Slemmy picks up one, Stewie finding another, burns another one alive, and Shroud picks up a third. It is traded out nicely though, but ultimately left to Lucas in a 1-on-3. Still with his rotations coming over from the A-bomb site too. He needs to execute quickly, waiting for someone to rotate him from CT, but these shots, it's going to be obvious to spot it. Skadoodle left alive, he misses the shot, so Lucas will get a little bit more ground. Up to the grill now, but also going to have to go up against Stewie, wrapped around just in the corner, and he peeks Skadoodle. Skadoodle shuts it down. Cloud9 claim the first round in OT.
Oh, there's the nightmare. That's what Tempo Storm wanted to avoid. 2 Molotov kills for Cloud9 on the execution. That initial throw of nades from Tempo Storm, they wanted to bait out one of those Molotovs, at least one, so that when they did eventually execute onto the B-bomb site, they weren't running through fire, but Cloud9 stays so poised there.
So Cloud9 with the lead once again here. 3 more away from a victory, and also Tempo Storm. We'll see exactly what they're going to be throwing at their opponents this time. Posting up in middle, and it's back to the default set. Nothing really that aggressive so far early on, and in fact, not even really looking to take control of Banana. Just sitting outside of it now, a little bit scared as to what Cloud9 may throw at them here.
Stewie with the op again. Winning that first round, he goes for the double op setup. Swinging through the smoke, doesn't take any damage, but feels the pressure. Now Tempo Storm, this time they're going to try their luck over at the A-bomb site. That Molotov, though, has made the stack very disjointed. Perfect flashbang, nothing. Can do absolutely nothing. Shroud in the pit, he's going to find one. He's got to stay alive. He's got a teammate in the bomb site he's got to support. And he's got to find the right angle to search for. Shroud not being able to find anything here as Tempo Storm moves very aggressively past his crosshair. And there it is. Henny takes him down as well. Stewie and Slemmy, do they have an avenue back into this? They did, but Phelps shuts it down.
And now it's just left to Stewie in the 1-on-4. Close up, but ooh, looks away. Bad timing, unfortunately. Phelps is going to grab that final kill. But Tempo Storm bouncing back now. And once again, we'll be tied.
One more round. You can see Shroud feeling the pressure a little bit, despite a solid game out of him so far. 26 and 18 for Shroud.
And Skadoodle also the only one with the op this time too. They've had to downgrade Stewie away. The money got a little bit weaker for the CTs after that last round.
Yeah, and also highlighting the difference in the economies of the CT and T side, because there's 5 AKs full utility for Tempo Storm, and that's a nice return of nade damage. Molotov as well. Stewie fortunate to get farther back so that Molotov doesn't deal anything extra to him. But you can see 2 FAMASes out for Slemmy and Stewie. Money getting beat up a little bit just in these 2 rounds.
Phelps with the initial smoke. It's not going to draw any rotations over, although it does cover things off initially. Just over onto the site to cause a little bit of confusion. Another one back down on the A-bomb site here too, but not really a whole lot of follow-up coming in from Tempo Storm just as of yet. Just using it to get a little bit more control of the site. Slemmy going to pop his own flash out there. Not the best connection, but still, Slemmy going to pick up the kill on Phelps. Nicely done by him. And it'll bring some support back over to the site in the form of Stewie, and nothing's going to cheat his way over here too, possibly a bit prematurely when you consider that there's still 3 players from Tempo Storm stacking just outside of the A-bomb site.
Yeah, there's 50 seconds left, and I mean, he's just cheating that way because, you know, even going back to regulation, Tempo Storm shown they're very willing to hit that B-bomb site, so he's just kind of cheating over there initially to see if anything is going to follow that up, but now he's come back. Again, though, Tempo Storm, they haven't really gained much, and they have a long route to go into these bomb sites, a lot of players to clear out, and they don't have a lot of things to use to do it. It's going to have to be duels again. Skadoodle with the op on Rap side, working with nothing. 1 player coming into B, that's Bolts, trying to cause some kind of distraction, but it's going to accomplish nothing. Shroud, not blind, but he's also not in danger. That's Skadoodle who bails him out of a tough spot. He does fall to save Shroud, so Shroud's got to make up for it. Got to make sure his teammate's sacrifice is not in vain, and he does. Finds that 1 kill onto Lucas. And Henny in a 1-on-3. The bomb is being planted, but he's being pushed upon so swiftly. Does good damage. He's got to find this kill, and he's got it. Now playing at an angle where he can isolate some of these players. Stewie's going to be the next one up. He's down very low. Henny, he does it! The magic comes out. A 1-on-3 for Henny in overtime.
And nicely done. Now the guys from Tempo Storm, they'll take the lead away from C9 as we go into the second half. And not only this too, but this goes back onto the sides where Tempo Storm were dominating things earlier on.
What a time for Henny to come alive, not even with the signature AWP. This is so well played. A little bit of a missed opportunity from nothing, but just making sure. This is such a good angle where you can isolate one-on-one. So many different pieces of cover you can use. And eventually he just cleans up some of those low HP players, keeps his team with an advantage going into the CT half.
Tempo Storm, you can already see it. They're getting a huge boost of confidence from that. They now know they're back in the lead of things, and they're dominating the playing field. C9 have to jump back down onto the T side, where it's going to be rough for them to bring it back. They're still a few rounds away. If they could go flawless on this T half, then yes, they'll close it out, but needing at least 2 more here to guarantee a second OT.
Yeah, but I mean, the T side they had in the first half was, I mean, it's not bad is a nice way to put it. It was actually good. They grounded out some great rounds. They got up to 5 gun rounds that they won. So, I mean, nothing to slouch at, nothing to feel a little bit worried about.
But still, Tempo Storm taking their time with this one. You can see Peacemaker, they're giving out a lot of communication, making sure these guys are solid on the strat before they even go into it. Not going to be one of taking any chances there of things destabilizing. Somewhere in that half where C9 could take an advantage on this T side where they absolutely should not be doing so. We already saw it though, as Moses just mentioned, in regulation time, racking up 6. Despite the fact they took control of the pistol, they lost the Lex one immediately after that one, and then it was Tempo Storm for a large majority of that half.
So Banana Control is going to be the name of the game. Stewie's already down so incredibly low. 8 HP for him. And that's a big, aggressive piece of the Cloud9 puzzle, and there's the nade to finish him off. Free kill for Bolts, essentially. Showtime with the assist. And that's from the auto sniper that he picks up, so very aggressive. Phelps, though, with the shotgun can get nothing done.
Nothing, making quick work of him, and now Skadoodle up on the top of the wheelbarrow here, just outside of the B-bomb site, looking to see if he can catch a player by spindles. Just thought that smoke tossed, but there's no way he's going to grab the player back over there behind second oranges. That is Lucas that threw that back out. However, he does have some teammate support behind him, getting ready to go for the take if they'd like to try it. Oh, and now we actually have 2. Missed this, the auto sniper from Showtime. This could be brutal if they don't properly smoke off the site.
Well, this can be brutal if Tempo Storm loses this. This is a very aggressive investment early on. Talk about the CT economy getting punished. That's one of the most expensive weapons in the game. And he's going to get blind, so he misses his initial opportunity. Goes for the repeat. But Shroud who punishes it. Now Lucas left all alone. They're not pressuring him just yet.
Lucas still behind second orange. They don't even check it. He's going to grab the bomb for free. Another very low player up on the site. They thought he was first orange, so he's going to grab another kill there. Nothing does trade him back out, but now we're in a 2v2. And one trying to take that shot. It's a little bit to the right, though. Not going to make the connection. He's still alive. He's still well. Skadoodle throwing in some of his own support here. Nothing going to try to relocate. A bit risky jumping behind Newbox, but thankfully they've got the smoke back over to CT to cover that angle. However, nothing. He's burning. Nothing. Move. No. Nothing goes down. And now it's just on Skadoodle, as Bolts is going to be able to take him out of the picture. Now Skadoodle pushing back up. He's going to be flanked, though, but he finds that shot. A little over-aggressive, and we can see him with the knife. What are you doing? What are you trying to close out on? N1 is going to clutch it again. It's going to be a close defuse, but he's going to be able to do it, and Tempo Storm will be within 1 round of taking this map.
Getting sloppy, but grinding it out. Henny with another win. Skadoodle, you could see that coming. You could see that no-scope landing on that second kill. He was going for it. But now it's Cloud9 who's got to survive. 2 rounds where if they lose, it goes to a 3rd map. Tempo Storm on the verge of outlasting Cloud9 in overtime.
So, back up to a big investment here in Cloud9, of course. No trouble at all going in for this next round, but we shall see. Heavy nades going back down Banana as to be expected, but most of C9 are pushing over towards alt mid. Phelps, though, should be able to hear most of this from his position inside of the apartments. Once again, pushing up the boiler steps. He knows there's a large presence coming out from C9 here. Now the question is, how aggressive does he want to get to try and push into it? Nobody's really watching out for him. You should remember that this was something that he did fairly often in regulation time, so they definitely want to keep somebody looking out for it. But right now, they're not. He's going to be able to catch nothing with a nade in his hand.
It's been a long time since they've had to think about that one, and Phelps strikes again. Nice peek from him. Again, though, I mean, this is curious. This will be something that maybe we can look at after the fact, but another round where there's over a minute left and there's very low nades on the Tempo Storm side. They've been not very conservative with those. Good trade, though. Stewie finds Phelps, but it's still after a kill, so it's a 4-on-3 advantage for Tempo Storm.
And one now going to wait, spots the rifle inside a boiler, and there we go. Hook, line, and sinker. It takes down Stewie, but Skadoodle, quick trade, coming back out of the mid choke point. Good communication to get his location from that one. And now 3 left alive from Tempo, but the 2 still alive from Cena are going to push in. Unfortunately for them, though, Bolts grabs one of them for free, walks right up there and just grabs Skadoodle, and now it's all on Shroud. He's been digged down so low, finds that first kill, and now has to win the 1-on-2. Both of them are already here. He probably can't even try to escape with the plan, in all honesty. He's going to move forward, try to get it on the ground, but that's going to be it. Tempo Storm close out map number 2, and we're going over to Cash to settle this.
What a game between these two teams. Cloud9 surprising us all and it looked like they were just going to run away with it, but Tempo Storm need to dig deep. They really, really struggled with that one. Cloud9 put them off their game initially, and they had to fight to get it back. But it's all over. Now they can forget about it. They can think about it later. They move on. It's going to be Cash. It's the third map of the semifinal to dictate who goes to the grand finals.
It's going to be a big set from those guys, a big map overall. N1 coming out exactly when he needed to there in the big clutch to take it in
that
OT.
1-on-3,
yeah,
good lord.
And even in overtime as well, he came out with I think 1 or 2 more rounds where he was definitely a very prevalent force to really bring that back from the grave essentially for Tempo Storm.
Yeah, it was sick, and I mean, yeah, you guys, we're going to be coming up on Cash, but before that, if you guys want to check out some of the scores we just had on that map, how well the players did, also some articles that are released periodically, check out the Score eSports app. You can get it through the Google Play Store or the App Store for your Apple devices. And with that being said, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, it will be Cash, like we said. That third map will be coming up to decide who goes home and who goes to the grand finals. So stay tuned.